Greetings, Internet, and welcome to another episode of My Cool Friends. We go live every Friday and Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're wondering, wow, this is fantastic, where can I find more episodes? Well, first of all, hello. It's good to see you for the very first time. You can find all of our episodes. Her mic is unmuted and she has no idea. You can find all of our episodes over on our YouTube channel, the Platinum Mastermind, and we have a lovely Facebook group for all of our cool friends. Today, my fellow companions, we have a very, very special guest. She has a system called visibility hacking, which she is going to tell us all about today. I promise you she is not an AI bot that I created so I could have a friend today. She is indeed a real person and not a walking advertisement. Please help me welcome, with homemade sound effects, Coach Molle.
Oh, I get a real round of applause.
A round of applause.
Yes. Hello, Internet. I'm Coach Molle from visibilityhacking.com, and I can help you get a lot cooler than maybe you are right now. I like friends, and I like helping other people find the right kind of friends. So I think tonight we're going to have some fun.
We are indeed going to have some fun. And on behalf of the Internet, hello, Molle. It is great to see you.
Oh, Pikachu!
Pika! That's very weird for the podcast listeners right now, but there's a Pikachu on the screen right now.
True. Hi, podcast listeners.
All the audio listeners are like, what is going on? Smoking cocaine or something.
Well, those of you who are listening solely on the podcast, clearly you have to join us in video format. Ben, Where can they find you in video? Where can they find us in video?
They can find us over on YouTube and the Book of Faces over on the Facebook group. But for now, Molle, I have a fascinating question for your audio listeners. Are missing Molle dancing, I assure you. It's fascinating. I have a fascinating question for you. Mm-hmm. Now, what you do is visibility hacking, and I assure all of the listeners, I am learning about this just as much as they are right now. So, Molle, how can I, as someone who is a lover of the interwebs, use what you do to increase my influence and authority in whatever it is, whatever I do as an online business owner? How can I use what you do to increase my influence and authority to get people to know, like, and trust me?
Oh, fabulous question, and it's perfect for this show because this show is all about your cool friends.
Yes,
and so what visibility hacking does is it helps us position ourselves as awesome entrepreneurs and business owners and solopreneurs and people with just really great ideas. It helps position you as not only an authority, but as an expert and as someone who can actually influence other people's behavior and decisions. And it's really powerful tools that we use. It's 6, 7, 8-figure businesses are using these kinds of strategies with massive budgets behind them. But you know what? A lot of the same strategies apply to a business that started on an ironing board in my basement. And that's the power. I've been able to make over $150,000 in the last 3 months. Just saying. I have no credibility, no influence, no people behind me when I started all of this. And it's using those strategies that I learned from huge budget businesses, from massive national and international broadcasting studios I've worked in, to use those tools to help people create awesome shows just like yours right now, to connect their message, their passion, their heart, their soul with the people who are going to resonate with that, with the people who are going to be into that same kind of nerding out or whatever it is that makes you excited, right? You're going to find those people. And I like to think of it as like each and every one of us are a single piece of glitter. And on one side of our glitter, we're sparkly. And on the other side of our glitter, we're kind of dull and we're kind of boring. And we have the ability to pick which side we want to show the world, right? Oh. So there's a whole ton of us that have decided to be shiny, have decided to stand out, have decided to reflect that light back into the world. And this sounds so cheesy, I know. It sounds so like hippy dippy, I know, but like bear with me here, okay? So there's people who have chosen to like do something better for the world, and there's people who have decided to just do whatever. Okay, whatever, 9 to 5 it, just do what I gotta do, right? So those of us might feel, those are shiny people of us, might feel like we physically live in a community where there's not a lot of other glittery people, especially when we're digital marketers, especially when our business and our communities don't have to necessarily be physically around us. But we can start to feel so isolated. We can start to feel like maybe our people aren't there. I worked with so many people who worked in like multi-level marketing programs, and it was all about finding more people, building that community. And it gets to be really tough. And it feels really gross sometimes when you're like, the coach is saying that I have to DM everyone, and I really don't want to like slide on into this random person's DMs, and then it just feels icky, it feels gross, and it doesn't actually build those authentic connections. So how do we do that then, right? That becomes the $1 million question. Like, great story, Molle, but like, tell me actually how to do it. So simple structures, simple ideas. If we want to change the world, crazy idea, right? We first have to embrace the fact we have a crazy idea. Then we have to realize that it starts with us first. We have to embrace our, what I like to call, wild ideas. This is totally like the hippy dippy stuff of visibility hacking for a moment. You have to embrace the wild ideas. Wild ideas come from within us. They're innovative. They think about new solutions. They're rooted inside of who we are. And when we're able to bring those out into the world, it feels crazy and it feels like no one's going to support us. But when you start showing up, like actually showing up, like having a show or having a podcast or having a live stream on a regular basis, when you set a schedule and you tell your community, even if your community is literally your mom being the only person who watches your show at first and likes your Instagram stuff, but if you literally commit that into the world and start showing up on a regular basis, being excited about what that is that excites you, your wild idea, people will start to come. Maybe they'll come at different speeds. Maybe you have an idea that's going to catch on a little bit faster, but just keep on trucking. Keep on showing up. And yeah, of course, when you become an official visibility hacker, you learn a lot more of the nitty gritty behind all of this, the how to actually implement this stuff, how to make yourself look like your own best version of your favorite Gap ad. I can help you do that.
Again, audio listeners, her green screen makes her look like a Gap ad. And as you're talking, like, I can't help but think of the parallels to, like, you and me also, like, are frequently, like, in a, like, what's becoming like a tiny little mastermind of people that gather and play Trivia Murder Party.
We're a bunch of brilliant marketers who get together to kill each other on a regular basis.
Also, hello, FCC. Great to have you listening to our show.
Okay, FCC, if you can like put an emoji in the chat, I want to know what your favorite emoji is when you're feeling hungry. Okay, your favorite hunger-based emoji. Thank you. Proceed.
But that makes me think of that as that, like, when I originally had that idea, it's like, you know, I've got this idea, but I'm not quite sure if people are gonna grab it, and it also seems like a lot of effort to start doing it. And then people start pushing me to do it, and like all of you guys were like, "Oh, Ben, we totally want to keep doing this," and you know, through tech problems and all, like, everyone still has a fantastic time.
Yep. And
it reminds, like, you say, like, even if your mom is the only one who show up, man, you guys show up more than my mother, and and it's like, sometimes I think that we forget that, like, in the midst of all of the views and like the tens of thousands of views and the million like viral videos, sometimes we disvalue the one. And I think the one is what we lose sight of, and I think what matters the most. Because imagine if you had a lifetime impact on just one person.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you let's get super nerdy about business and like structuring your offers for a moment.
Let's get nerdy about our businesses for a moment.
Our favorite thing to do. We need our own show about nerding out about business. But anyways.
Yes. So for those of you that don't like nerding out about things, this is your exit poll.
And we'll put a timestamp of where you can pick us back up.
Yes.
So if we nerd out a bit about if we say that our goal is to change the world, and I like to say we're going to change the world by changing the way that we do business. So that means we have to think differently. And before we went live, we were chatting briefly about how I don't like the term. It's not like I hate it, but I just don't like talking about value ladders because to me, it's so oriented in money. And I like to think about having tangible results and actually being able to bring your people to those mountains. Right. I love to think about outdoor analogies. So to me, it's about being the leader of your pack. And your pack can be one person. Your pack can be 1 million people. Your pack can start out with just you, the lone wolf. But it requires that bravery of a leader to actually make the trail happen. If we look at like the most amazing things that have happened around the world in all of time, anything, just like take a moment and think of something you would define as awesome in history or in human times, right? Well, I bet you that awesome thing happened because of a human. Happened because of another flesh and blood person made a decision to try something differently. And so if we're sitting here going, I feel lonely, I don't have enough people in my business, I want more money, or whatever it is that you're stuck on, the solution is somewhere within you or within your reach. So first off, have that confidence in yourself that whatever it is that sparks your passion, whatever it is that lights your flame, you got to keep running with that because the world needs that light. But you also need to make sure that you're sharing it with the world and you're actually leading that pack. When you keep going, people will start to follow you. And when those people follow you, it's because they are following you. It's you and your solution. And they know maybe there's other people who can help them start a podcast or get more people in their Facebook group, whatever it is you want to do. Yeah, I'm sure there's someone else who's an expert in it who's going to help you do it. But do you really want to hang out with that person? Do you have that connection? Do you think that person is like the best person to relate to you? Maybe not. So how do you show someone that? Well, how do you relate to your best friend? You have conversations with them. You talk to them. You make jokes with them. You're like this with them, right? So when you find that space and you stake it out for yourself, when you build your friggin' stage and you say, hey, I'm here. You want to come hang out? I'm here. You don't want to be here. You got a problem with me? Then you can leave. Bye. Don't have time for you. But I got awesome front row seats for anyone who wants to listen to this message. I'm going on this awesome hike. I'm going to go reach this mountain peak. And if you're into that, come along with me. We're going to have an awesome freaking time. And that's how you connect with people, individual to individual. That's how you build tribes. That's how you build communities. That's how you literally change the world. Yeah.
That wasn't the end of the podcast. I'm just applauding because of all of that.
But I need to take a break.
Yeah, I have so many thoughts. I think a lot of what you're hitting on is that like a lot of time, especially now in today's culture, I think that we're afraid to be controversial. And I think that within stepping into controversy, we create like people who are against us and also people who are for us. If we don't step into controversy, then we're bland, and no one wants bland. Bland is boring. Yeah. And it was like a lot of mentors have said like different versions of this to me over time, but like you should have like just as many people hating on you as you do people who are following you.
Yeah.
And one of the calls I had recently with people who I was helping out with YouTube videos is that pet peeve of mine. I don't like it when we complain about something, but then don't actually offer a solution to the thing that we're complaining about. Like for all the things that we've tweeted about, like how many people do you think of like said that it's like, and I am woke now? It's like you're just complaining about something. Like, what about an actual solution to the set problem?
Yeah.
And I think that is like the key to like making good content for business purposes.
So, okay, let's talk controversy for a moment. I'm personally like, I'm not the biggest fan of the idea that, okay, I get that we need to have some kind of controversy. We have to have that duality because that's how you lock in people who are like you, people who love you, right? Mm-hmm. But I think we focus too much on the metric of people who don't like us. And there are mentors who I think lean a little bit too much on that. Maybe it works for them. Maybe it works for their brand. Mm-hmm. But I don't see solutions coming out of that. I see solutions coming out of leaders, be them entrepreneurs, be them political leaders, be them community leaders, whatever those leaders look like. I think if we start leading in a different way, if we start leading from it sounds so cheesy. We start leading from our heart, but in the sense of like connecting from human to create better solutions for humans. And I'm not saying this in any way to say just because you're doing things that are leading with your heart, you're not able to make money. That is not how this works. Mm-hmm. Because if you actually have a solution that's going to solve people's problems, then you have the right to go sell it. Some people say you have the duty. It is your job to go sell, like,
it is
right?
Your responsibility.
It's your responsibility to go sell it, like whatever kind of hype you need. But if you actually have a solution that is going to change people's lives, that's going to help people get more fit, if that's what your thing is. Mm-hmm. I have a wonderful friend he writes all these awesome books and has these amazing programs to help people manage their diabetes so that they don't have to be on medication anymore. Like, what an incredible way to help people change their lives. Yeah, he makes money doing it, but it's because he has a solution that works. So if you focus on your business being something that actually helps people solve problems, then you're going to be successful. The question becomes, how do you figure out what those problems are to solve them? Right? So that happens by building your community, showing up on a regular basis, engaging with the people who have been attracted to you. Literally ask them what their problems are and how you can solve them. Right? Did you guys write that one down? Because that's how simple it is. A lot of times as digital marketers, we forget that there's individual people there. And we're looking for these big metrics. And we're looking for these huge conversion numbers. When in reality, if you build your offer properly, if you're like, I always advocate leaning a little bit more on high ticket so that it covers your costs. But if you're able to actually position yourself to solve people's problems, they're going to pay you for it. Like, and if you do it well enough, they'll pay you really, really well.
I love this magic that you're dropping.
I do too. I think people will love this. When do we start our ASMR episodes?
You got to the joke before I did.
ASMR for marketers. We're going to read every episode, every chapter of Traffic Secrets, one word at a time.
You know I have to do that now, right?
I run a podcast called the Business Building Book Club, and we're doing it with Expert Secrets, but I haven't done the ASMR version, so I think we need to start that.
Oh my. And like... What's scary is that like that would get an enormous amount of views.
I'm on it. You want to do the YouTube for it? I'll do the talking.
I'll do the YouTube for it. You do the audio.
Perfect. Okay, so I just want to explain, like, yes, we're absolutely doing this, first of all, because freaking brilliant idea. But second of all, I hope everyone just watched that magic that happened. All we did was connect with each other on a human to human level. We've been chatting for what, like 3 weeks, maybe? Like
something like that.
I haven't known you that long, but we've been able to figure out, like, as humans, as business owners, how can we help each other on these things? And we just were able to be vulnerable, to be silly, to throw ideas around. And we came up with a brilliant idea and a brilliant partnership that allows both of our skills to shine. When you combine those superpowers, I'm going to be a little bit nerdy. Okay, I got to stop apologizing for being nerdy.
Okay, let's get something out there real quickly. We had like a whole nerdy conversation about X-Files, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and a whole bunch of other things I forgot about. You don't need to apologize about being nerdy, especially on any YouTube channel that I make now or in the future. So with that, go.
Okay, so I grew up in the 90s, and the 80s and 90s, and the 90s were all about like environmentalism in kids' cartoons, right? So my favorite TV show was Captain Planet. And Captain Planet, for all of you young people, all of you
go
Gen
Google
Zs,
Captain Planet and do yourself a favor.
best cosplay ever, just saying. Okay, so Captain Planet, long story short, had these like kid friends who all were like part of his super secret society or whatever. I don't know. They all came from different continents, and together they had these magic rings, like decoder rings that you'd get in your cereal box. Yeah, back in the day. Mm-hmm. And then and the kids would like put their magic rings together, and like these lightning bolts would shoot out, and they would all combine together because when you come together, it creates Captain Planet. I don't remember the catch line. Don't ask me.
Like they had like the 4 elements.
And then like rings. Heart or something. Like the wonderful Jim Beard reminded me that I think there was a heart guy as well. Poor kid. But like they all combine, and then they summon Captain Planet, who's going to come help save the world from all this toxic stuff. But like it sounds super cheesy. Okay, this is going to come back to visibility hacking. This is going to come back to visibility hacking, I promise. Okay, so super cheesy, right? But I'm growing up in the 90s when all of the cartoons, all of the TV, all of the media messaging that was sent to my generation was about care about your environment. It was about throwing your trash in the trash can. It was these little things that we could do. It was shows, at least here in Canada, there was shows from this guy called David Suzuki, and he would help show us all these beautiful things about science and nature and animals and forests. And that's what I grew up in. So my frame of reference, the things that I'm passionate about, all kind of stem from the media that I saw. The possibilities I saw in the world come from that frame of reference from what I was seeing around me. So I'm on this crazy mission with visibility hacking. Like once you work your way up in the program and you've built your show and you have your community of people, the question is like, what do you do with it? What's the point of all this? So think back to like whatever kind of like business shows that were around when I was a kid in the 90s, like Young and Restless. The Young and the Restless, okay? So what did I know about business growing up? Well, you go to business in nice clothes and you talk on the phone to each other, and then you marry everyone in town. Like there was no business. Right? Business was like just something people happened to do. It was a status marker. So we fast forward. What kind of business shows did we have maybe 10 years ago? We had Shark Tank. Shark Tank is all about businesses that have already made substantial movement in their businesses, right? They have really good numbers to show. They have actual equity in their businesses that they can trade for the expertise and onboarding of these sharks, right? So we're exposed to more business. It's a little bit cooler. It's a little bit more interesting. There's more framing the reference of what business looks like for people. So now we fast forward. We have so much media potential at our literal fingertips. Even if you are Molly on an ironing board in your mother's basement, you have the ability to get in front of literally millions of people. Millions of people. And if you start using the stuff that Ben does when it comes to properly like SEOing your videos and turning them into pieces of content on a platform that's literally a search engine for people, so that throughout the years, people are going to start seeing your content. You are literally going to change that frame of reference for generations to come. If you sit back and you say, well, I don't feel represented in business, I don't feel like people who look like me or people who sound like me or people who are into the stuff that I'm into, I don't think that fits the mold of what it means to be a successful entrepreneur or a 2 Comma Club member or whatever, like whatever your status marker is, it doesn't matter because you aren't there yet. You aren't showing up yet. When you start showing up, you're literally changing the vocabulary people have about what it means to do business. You're literally, Ben's show, for example, like the stuff that you do and Jim's, the show, those kinds of shows literally give you the tools. You come hang out with me on the visibility check every day. Like those are literally the tools you need to make that possible, to make that dream possible. It's just incredible what we have at our fingertips. So literally, I've said that 100 million times. I'm sorry. But show up, people, participate, come show your faces, show us your passions, because I'm probably going to watch your show.
Thank you.
Like, I love your show. I love all your shows.
Oh, thank you.
Shows. Because I'm on one and I keep winning it. I mean, Grant Cardone keeps winning it. How did you book him?
How did I book him?
I don't know. He just shows up in the murder hotel for some reason.
It's fun. Like, here's a funny. I don't think you know this story yet.
Do tell.
So it's funny. Like, it's a good segue into like what you were talking about. Is that I actually have a second. This is my second YouTube channel that I've ever made. The first one that I made.
Let me guess. Are all of the videos private?
No. Okay. They're still public. You could still go find this. That I had a gaming YouTube channel that I used to do. This was back when Ben did not know the importance of posting on are you trying to search for
No, I'm literally I gotta stop saying that. I'm actually trying to bring up my original YouTube page just to see if it's as bad as what you're about to describe.
I had my YouTube my original YouTube page. It was a gaming channel. Ben did not know the importance of like, oh, hey, make sure your banner has X, Y, Z. Make sure your video descriptions are filled out at least. So some of that stuff was blank. Some of the things like just straight up did not have tags. Ben still had videos that had 10,000 views and above. Multiple. I know. Well, like, so I don't. I know how that.
Question.
All right, go ahead.
If you're getting those kind of views, clearly you're talking about something like people want to see the video game content, right?
I was making guides that otherwise were like no one else was making.
Nice. But the question is, if people are clearly liking your content, you're providing value, were they subscribing?
Some of them were, some of them were not. I had like 400 subscribers. That's not the point of the story, though.
I know. I'm just curious.
Okay, like ask your curiosity questions away.
That's all. That's the question. I'll shut up now.
The point. I love talking with you, Molly. I really do. The point of the story that I'm trying to make is that this all took place back in 2013, which is like coming up on the 10-year anniversary. And I still get views on those videos. I still get comments on those videos. And like even if you look at some of the big YouTubers, like Mr. Beast is only like 5 years old. I always think to myself, like, oh yeah, you didn't know that Mr. Beast is only 5 years old.
5 years, wow! And did he have like a previous YouTube presence under a different account, and he just switched it up when he hit the algorithm?
He's apparently he just someone told me this on Clubhouse. He recently posted a video where it was like he basically put a video in a time capsule.
Oh, cool.
He scheduled a video for 5 years, and it's like, hey, this is where I want to be, and it had all his old intro and everything, and like, it was so cool. But he went through like a couple different phases of his channel. Like at one point it was Call of Duty channel, at one point it was
cool
different things. But I'm not sure if he had like different channels before his current one, but I know for myself, I'm glad I had my previous channel because there was a couple of shows I've had before this one that gave me some good learning experience, of which you will never find because those videos are private now. I know.
Come on. If I can leave my May 3rd, 2007 vlog up there, you can unprivate at least one episode of your show. Don't tell anyone where it is. Just
maybe we'll have a special event where we unprivate some of those old videos.
Oh my goodness. Yes. I think that would be hilarious.
But I always think to myself, like, man, like what would have manifested if I kept making content? What would have manifested if I kept like posting videos? Yeah. And that's something that always creeps at the back of my mind.
Yeah. And a lot of people are discouraged that they feel like you need to have so much production to put out good, valuable content. And they feel like you need to have editing and you need to have all these fancy like skills to make your intros look cool and stuff like that. It's like, in reality, you can pay someone, and there are people who do great work, and it's not going to cost you your firstborn child. Mm-hmm. And then there's also ways to learn it yourself and not have to use the super expensive software programs and be able to do it for like a couple $100 at most, put an awesome show together. And hey, if you got the time, you got the patience, and you're motivated to learn new skills, you can do it for free a lot of the times. And what I've loved to see working on your show or being Grant Cardone on one of your shows,
being a part of that extravaganza that I have,
is seeing how every single episode, first of all, you show up, you stay consistent, no matter what the technical difficulties are, you stick to it. And that tells us, the participants, like that you are leading us. You are confident in your show, no matter what's going on. So we stay confident, we have fun. And every episode, you're evolving, you're growing, you're getting better at things. And that's the trick. If you literally go find me on YouTube, everyone, I promise you, like not my old account, but go look for visibility hacking go find me on the YouTubes, and go through my catalog, go through my old videos from a few years ago, right? I've been on YouTube since April 2nd, 2000. Oh, nope. That's just the last video on the page. Okay. October 8th, 2006 was my first video. It was a stop motion. I did a lot of stop motion animation.
That makes me feel a lot better.
it was good times. So don't check out those videos though. My stop motion's not as interesting. Like, go to my visibility hacking page. The most recent content is awesome. It's packed with value. I think you guys will like it. But more importantly, to this point, go see my oldest videos. I purposely am leaving them up because I want to see where I came from for my own benefit, but I also want to show and lead by example and show my people that you don't have to have this fancy gap green screen experience to start out. You don't have to be this excitable and this confident on camera when you start. I'm like totally jealous of the treadmill behind you, by the way. Like, Just saying. Just saying.
Let me tell you, there was a phase that I went through where I was like, someone made a comment about my background, and I'm like, oh my god, like I need to have a green screen. And because of the way that the lights are positioned down, like it was so hard to put up a green screen. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care about the green screen anymore. I don't care. And so now,
well, in visibility hacking, we would refer to this as the Catherine principle, referred to Catherine Jones. So if you've ever seen any of her videos or her trainings that she does, her background is definitely not a clean green screen like mine. Her background is
her background.
Her background is busy. It's got tons of stuff to look at. There's neon signs. There's a bookshelf that's organized by color. She even has a background that's inspiring people's headshots behind her. Like, she's got tons of stuff going on in her background, and it works so well. Because if people get bored with what you're saying, or maybe they're just trailing off, instead of continuing their eye line, here's a bit of psychology for you. Instead of continuing their eye line up to the back button or to the go to another page button, their eye is actually getting trapped in your background. And they're probably going to look past you and check out and see, like, oh, how many books does he have on the shelf? And I wonder what's on that t-shirt. I wonder if that t-shirt changes week to week. Is that like a Daffy Duck in the background? I wonder what the things on the wall are. Like, they're literally, you're able to trap their brain, their eye with what's going on around you. And so I've been trying out what happens when you do the complete opposite of that. And you totally suck everything away. I've even stripped the color out of my skin. I've sucked the life out of me. And so I'm checking to see if we can do the same thing by putting someone in a vacuum. So there's the Catherine principle of that busy background. It does not matter what's behind you, people. It doesn't matter. Like, when your kids walk by, when your dog shows up, when you have a little bit of mess, it positions you as relatable. You're no longer that, like, corporate marketing guy in the sky. You're actually someone who can relate to them, who's probably not going to ask for their firstborn child and a scary legal document kind of thing. Like, you are a real person who can actually get me these solutions. I would rather hire people who I'm friendly with than people who I kind of feel intimidated by. So keep the background.
One of the things that this reminds me of is, like, one of my favorite YouTube channels out there is his name's Carl Smallwood. All he has is, and like, he used to be a small YouTube channel, and thanks to the algorithm he's gone huge, but his background is one of those, like, stretch like circular green screens that is shaped like an oval.
Yep.
And he has that as the background, like, as he's telling, like, fun facts. He will have pictures, like, he'll have his editor, like, bring in pictures like that correlate to his fun facts. And he has been adamant to his team, like, I don't care how much money we make on this channel, I will always have the crappy green screen. And there was even one episode where, like, they actually had a square green screen, and he made his editor edit it to make it look like there were circular corners in it.
That is funny. Oh, and what I'm seeing a lot trend wise is people aren't just leaning on putting their videos onto YouTube. We're looking at putting your videos on TikTok in short form and on Instagram and in vertical format now. So you have the possibility of really grabbing people's attention with a simple tool like Canva, being able to create some little motion graphics, a little bit of animation. It doesn't take a custom designed, like, emoji, something. I don't know why I just said that, but it doesn't take any, like, expensive magic tricks. It just takes some motion to grab people's attention. Enough busyness in a certain part of the frame will actually trap someone's eye and bring them back to you. It's simple psychology, and it's super easy to use free tools online that can help you do it. But it's about showing up, people. It's about actually being present and sticking to like some kind of a schedule for your own self. Eventually it'll bring people in, but for you to show up, find that confidence in yourself and know like, I can make cool content. People like me. Because if you look at like some of the biggest YouTubers, not everyone hits the algorithm in the first year. Just saying, people can wait a few years to develop what it is that their message and their way of talking, and eventually they'll build these small followings. It's not about your gold play button. It's about those individual people. Every time I get a new subscriber, I get excited and I have a little happy dance because individual people, one person could from a business perspective, one new follower on YouTube could net me $50,000 if I work my magic properly. Mm-hmm. That's how I think about it.
Yeah, what you made me think of is that like back when I started that gaming YouTube channel that I talked about earlier, I had the perspective of like, oh man, like all of these like people on YouTube, like they make their own like custom thumbnails, so therefore I must go and learn Photoshop myself. And keep in mind, this is 2013 we're talking about here.
Wait, was this back when Photoshop was you pay once and you get it forever before you had to like pay every freaking year? I mean, I love you, Adobe.
No, it wasn't that young. But it was like, oh hey, if you're a student, then you get it super.
Yeah. That's how they hook you when you're young.
And I got in through, I started learning Premiere Elements. And, I was suffering this like curse. I swear to God, like a witch casted a curse on me to where like every 3 months I must suffer a new computer error that put me back. But I pursued, and I am definitely glad I spent the time.
Computers crashing like that is a sign that you're doing the work.
Yeah. And my friends can attest to you because like they will attest this because like we would gather for our show and like every 3 weeks I would tell them like, yeah, my computer guy's got the laptop again, so I guess we can't record today. But I'm glad I did it because I know how to like make basically anything I need to in Photoshop. But oh my God, you don't have to do that.
That's for sure.
You don't like I wish I knew this back then, and it's become so much simpler now, but you don't have to spend 6 months of your life learning Photoshop and then another 6 months to learn video editing.
Yep.
Number one, you can pay people in much poorer countries that'll be happy to do it for you. And number two, yes, what Molly is saying is true. They're absolutely like free. And also, let me clear some BS out of my throat. There are much cheaper and much better software out there for video editing than Adobe. I know, it's shocking.
Wait, you're just leaving us hanging?
There was I don't think you can get it anymore, or maybe you can get it for free, but there was a program that I bought called TrackX PC that I used like for years. And now I think people use a different one called Filmora, I believe it's called.
Oh,
yeah. And I thought I was under the impression like, oh man, like all the big movie studios are using this brand. So therefore I think I need to use that in order to be successful. That was the impression that I had. And that's the most important thing that I want like everyone to take away is that like not like I don't want to like leave you hanging, but it's like there's like you don't have to use what everyone else is using in order to be successful.
Yeah. So I'm just full disclosure. I love the program that is open source because open source is the way of the future, in my opinion. Just saying. So I use OBS, which if you don't know OBS, call me. Become a visibility hacker, visibilityhacking.com. I'll show you how to do awesome things with it. But it's free. It's literally free. I need like a shirt that just says literally.
let's open. I want to open this conversation
Yep.
a little bit to like not just video editing, video creation programs,
Yep.
but what would you say is the best free program that you have utilized? And if it's OBS, then pick something else.
Okay, so OBS is fantastic for video stuff and the community of users. But actually, the most powerful free tool that is ever out there is Canva. Like, as someone who not only paid full price for multiple versions of Photoshop, but then also got suckered in for a little bit to paying like a recurring price for Photoshop when that switched, 90% of Photoshop you can do in Canva, or at least the stuff that, like, as marketers and as people who are getting into the digital world or pushing it forward in the digital world, those are the tools you need, guys. And if you want to like step it up and actually like pay for something, pay the like whatever $29 or something to get the pro account on Canva, and then you can do transparent backgrounds, which opens a whole new world. But like, seriously, the background remover unto itself is worth every penny, because screw Photoshop, it doesn't do that automatically. Freaking pen tool, it would be the end of me. So like, it's those kind of tools. You just have to look around. There's great communities out there. It's maybe not free, but there's ways to get like thousands of dollars worth of social media templates for $20 out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's ways to do this. You just have to have an idea of what you want to do. Like, generally, what do you want to talk about? Go talk about it. Have your shows, have your platform, wherever it is. Is it video? Is it podcast? Whatever it is. And then look at what other people in your industry are doing, like what other people on your platform are doing. So if you're like, my people are on YouTube, go look at other people on YouTube. They don't have to be doing the same thing as you. They're on the same platform. Look at what they're doing. Other podcasters, look at what they're doing. Other people with live shows, look at what they're doing. Like, look at that. But then also, don't just get so insular that you're just looking at people who are common to you, people who are in your kind of world. A lot of what I have learned, the place I went looking that helped me bring together 20 plus years of research and work experience from being like pirate radio. I used to run my own radio station by like overpowering the radio waves from a little generator in the back of my car or my friend's car. And we'd park outside the radio station in the middle of the night when we knew that it was pre-recorded shows that were happening. So we'd overboost the station and we just have our own show. And at first, like, I didn't know if anyone was actually listening, but when we got cut off the radio one night because security found us, I mean, it screwed up their radios. Then there was actually people who were calling the radio station that I may or may not have worked at during the daytime hours that were actually commenting that this magical show in the middle of the night wasn't on anymore and they really wanted to hear it. And the radio station managers had no idea what they were talking about, right? So like, there's fun shenanigans like that where you're building communities by just doing you, by just getting that message out, even if maybe the platforms weren't built for your message. But it's about finding a way to get your message on that platform. So yeah, okay, we have pirate radio, right? Crazy idea. We have like big broadcasting ideas. We have like newspapers and we have national broadcasting stations and all of that kind of like corporate money. The place that actually helped me bring all these together was Twitch. Watching people stream their video games. I was like, this is it. These are the tools. These are the strategies. These are the people who are doing what I want to do. I just don't want to play video games all the time. I want to talk about other things. Right. But it's these exact same tools. A lot of the times what I do is I repurpose free content that is out there that is used for streamers. And I help people use that content to create a show about fitness, to create a show about murder mystery if you want to do murder mysteries. I don't like it's looking outside the box. Literally gotta stop saying literally. Think outside the box.
Would you like to play a drinking game? Every single time she says literally, take a shot.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is going to be your best episode ever because people are going to watch it every Friday night because that's going to kick off their whatever people do on Friday nights.
I wasn't expecting you to say pirate radio when I said, what's the best free thing that you've utilized?
Yep. Okay, another cool thing about like free tools. I grew up in the 90s, as we've talked about. Yep. So when I was a teenager, when I like in my late teens, in my early 20s, the internet was a very different place. Like clearly I was putting up vlogs in 2006. But what was really magical was I used to run a live stream radio show. And this is just after pirate radio. This is like this happened because we got shut down. So I go online and there was all of
you mean they didn't hire you to host this?
No, they fired me. Just saying. I could fix their technology, but no. So they were sticking to, like, the radio station was sticking to traditional radio. They weren't taking that next step that I wanted to push them towards live stream radio. At this time, we don't have live stream shows. We don't have live stream video because we didn't have 5G or whatever it takes. I don't know. So instead, people were creating these communities of live stream radio. And there was maybe 5 or 6 different websites out there that would cater to different music styles. It was always music. And so I was going on with my talk radio background, but an absolute like deep love of deep Chicago house music, like tribal house music and deep Chicago house music and funky house music. Like that is my jam. And so I go on and I just start this show in the middle of the night talking about how much I love this music and talking about, I checked out this song, and we didn't have automatic copyright things at the time, right? So you could play whatever. So I'd have my turntables. I was in this awesome apartment in university. I had my turntables set up. My housemate hated this, but I would play my music. I would like have the microphone over the speakers and stuff. It was just horrible. And then eventually we got better and better and better. And eventually I created this community. I met these people who were just incredible. And we created this like DJ crew. And we were from all different cities. I was in Toronto. We had people in Chicago. We had someone in Phoenix. And we all were able to live stream in together on radio and spin our own house music stuff. I got way better. The sound got way better, and people showed up. Thousands of people showed up for our 6-hour live streams every Sunday.
Wow.
It was this huge community. Some people were showing up in the morning in their time in Europe, and some people were showing up in the evening on the West Coast. And it was just this incredible experience to find people. And when you realize, like, live streaming technology, it sounds like it's so difficult. It's technology. I'm scared of computers. Whenever, like, there are people who are making it easier.
Those people. I'm not one of these video people. I'm not one of these live streaming people. That's the one that always gets me. It's like, it's one of the simplest. Like, it's literally a button push away. And you like what?
Yeah. And it was just so neat to find a community of people that you can connect with around the world, all around the same shared interests. So again, I look at it and I go, well, how can I apply this to the next stage, to the next way I want to help people? Oh, okay, I helped people have a great Sunday. Like, we had Sunday fun day every week, but how can I actually change the world? How can I show up? And it's about being you. It's about authentically showing up. I hate that word, but once you do, once we tapped into the power of video and people could see me, well, then it went downhill for a bit, but then it got better. It got better.
Well, you set me up there for that one, but
And now we're here.
now we're here, fantastically talking to each other, and everyone's been wondering, oh man, this internet thing's never gonna last, and then
it's just a fad. Okay, my lovely, lovely late grandfather honestly thought that the internet was just for sending people porn. Like, that's what his people were telling him they were using it for. So he was like, I'm not into this. No, thank you. And he kept telling me stay away from that internet thing. It's just bad. And now hey grandpa, the internet helps me pay my bills. In a good way, not an OnlyFans kind of way.
Oh,
Welcome to Ben and his cool friends.
Welcome to Ben and my cool friends. I kid you not, one of the things that inspired me to help out my audience that I help out with YouTube is that my dad came to me and he said, Ben, I need your help. I don't know how to download a game on PlayStation Network. And it for those of you that don't know, that is not only one of the simplest things you could ever do. There's a button for it.
The download button.
The download button. It's literally easier than downloading something on the actual internet. But there's also hundreds of YouTube videos on how to do this one thing, which he does know how to navigate YouTube. Good for him.
So if the question becomes, if he has all of those tools available to him at his fingertips, why did he still come to you?
Exactly. And that there is the aha, is that it took me a while for the hamster to roll in my brain. I was like, oh my God, you're the audience that I need to help. And that's the thing, is that we can have all of these tools at our disposal, and yet there's still people out there that have different areas of wisdom than the two nerds in this room right now, and still require help. Hey, is there anyone that can do this YouTube thing for me?
Yeah.
Is there anyone that can do this, help me with this visibility thing, with this pirate radio thing?
If anyone wants to start a pirate radio, call me. I'm down.
Yes, absolutely.
And to level up from what you're saying, it's not just about listening to your people and solving their solutions and then getting money and yay, I had a business transaction. If you're able to connect with the right kinds of people, the people who are passionate about whatever it is they do, and you help solve whatever problem they have, you can create amazing collaborations and partnerships and projects moving forward. And that is how you really pour jet fuel on the bonfire that is your business, in a beautiful way. And it's about connecting and saying instead of thinking, oh no, that person does something similar to me, I feel like we're in competition. Think of it as, wow, they have a really awesome skill set. And I want to join that. I want to be part of that, because we can be like Captain Planet's Planeteers and be better together. We can be the Transformers. We can be way better when we join our forces and we go, wait, you're good at this and you're good at this and you're good at this and I can do this. Whoa. And from a marketing perspective, we've talked about this before. It's about sharing your audiences, but it's also about sharing your skills, your talents, and inviting that from your people as well. That's when you make amazing money, because you're making incredible things, because it's not just you doing all the work anymore. Find your team. That's my mic drop. Find your team. Period.
Yeah, I never... it's interesting that you bring up the competition thing, because I've never thought about myself being in competition with people that are similar to me, because I never pretend that I have all the answers. Because there might be something that they figured out that I have not, and vice versa, there may be something that I figured out that they have not.
Yeah.
And like you said, there's like all the opportunities in the world for collabs. Even like I think of like bigger companies, like think of, for example, like, okay, we're both nerds here, so I'll use a nerdy example. Video games are relevant, so think of like PlayStation and Xbox.
Yep.
Very, very big rivals. People don't usually buy both; they'll usually buy one over the other. But the fact that both exist are meaning that both are making more money. If, let's say, in a theoretical world, both didn't exist, only one existed, that one company would make less than the two having a rivalry with one another.
Yeah, and it like we also can look at meeting different segments of the market, meeting different niches, I guess you could also say.
Mhm.
But someone's strategy who looks similar to visibility hacking. I'm not going to drop any names here, but I have been I've had these experiences recently.
It rhymes with.
It starts with and finishes like no. There are people who do things that on the surface appear to be visibility hacking. Like people are like straight up trying to rip this off. But the funny thing is they don't understand what's on the back end of it. They are taking one little sliver of it. And I'm happy to have go ahead. You do you, because where that seed is going to evolve into, that's completely out of my control. That is the creative genius of whoever it is who took that seed. And that's fine. I love tending to my garden. So I like garden examples. So like you can take a plant and you can take off a leaf from it, which is like, okay, cool, steal my framework. And then let that plant and you turn that into something awesome and you go for it. And then because the rest of my plant is still growing and it's becoming something bigger and it's evolving into something else and it's growing in a different condition with different people, and that's fine. And I think once we get over that fear, a lot of female business owners and female entrepreneurs get this feeling of like, I'm being attacked or I have to fit this certain mold kind of thing. Yeah. It's this weird, like, competitive thing. And I think it's bullshit. And I think we need to, like, get rid of it, because if you have that bravery inside of you, if you have that spark inside of you and you're actually going to show up and you're going to commit to that, your plant is going to grow in a different way. It's going to be a lot more, it's going to have a lot more friends. It's going to, seriously, let's come back to the title of the show today. Like,
the reality of it is that
you're going to have more friends, but like really you're going to nurture your passion and you're going to connect with the people who are attracted to what you're talking about. And you're going to be able to bring them on that journey with you. And I think we need to start thinking more about how can we serve each other. In visibility hacking, we talk about different levels of community. So we talk about the individual, we talk about the family, we talk about the tribe, and the tribe is all of the different entrepreneurs, all of the different business owners, all of the people who serve you and your movement, not just you as a physical person, not just you as a member of your family unit, but you as an entrepreneur, you as a business owner. And then once we connect to the power of our tribe, then we can actually make change in our community. Then we can actually make change on a national level, on an international level. But it starts with having that tribe. And so that's the secret of what's coming up in visibility hacking that no one else knows. And I announced it here. And this is kind of why I didn't let Ben like put in any promo out for this episode, is because, well, like only those who are cool enough to be listening right now are getting this insider scoop. Just saying.
Congratulations, guys, for making it to the end of the video.
Is that your way of saying we're done?
We don't have to be. Oh, honey, we can be whatever you want to be.
Oh, God. It's too late for that. It's too late for that. Oh, no, we should wrap it up. And then that way people will be like, wait, what? I want to hear more. And then they'll contact you, because you can see at the bottom of the screen, for those of you watching on video, all of Ben's contact information, right? So what I want you guys to do is to just blast him on all of his profiles and say, bring Molle back.
Yes. Molle, we do actually need to do this again, because you know what? This was a fantastic conversation and I loved having you here. But for those of us listening on audio and don't see the URL link that you've clearly put right there, where can people find you?
So come hang out with me, my friends. I have a wonderful group on Facebook where we pour a bunch of information. But what I want you guys to do is to head on over to visibilityhacking.com. Click the button that says become an official visibility hacker. And yeah, when you drop into the group, though, I have a secret mission for you guys. You have to say, like, make a lovely post. You can use your favorite GIFs or GIFs or whatever you want to call them. And I want you to post that you found us from Ben and his cool friends. All right? Because we got to tell the rest of the visibility hackers about Ben's show, right? So I want you guys to help us bring those guys over here, and then we can have even more fun together, because more cool friends means more cool friends shows.
Boom.
Visibilityhacking.com. And that's where we'll also tell you about the upcoming ASMR version of all of the books.
I look forward to this ASMR version of all the books.
Me too. We'll do it with a Gapad background.
We'll do it with some lovely feathers and some slow book turning. And
let me turn the page.
Let me slowly and sensually turn this page for you.
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening.
There's someone at iTunes right now like, what the fuck is going on?
Or maybe they're really excited about it. We don't know.
About 3 more minutes of this, I'm gonna get really angry. Guys, thank you for joining us. I'm gonna wave goodbye to Facebook and YouTube. Goodbye.
Bye.